Hello students, and welcome back to one more sessions of our series of classes on human resource management, and we are particularly studying about organizational behavior. So in our last class we were dealing with what is diversity, what are the different dimensions of diversity and how to manage it. We also discussed about what are the benefits of diversities, how companies are benefiting by having a team of diverse employees and improving their productivity, efficiency and ultimately the objectives of doing business. So today we'll move on to the second challenge of dealing with challenge of OB, that is career management. Now you know what is career. So career is a progress or a general course of action of a person for a particular profession in an organization. So whenever a person enters a organization, he has something in his mind, like say for example he wants to, right from a fresher he wants to go up the ladder, be a manager, maybe ultimately become the vice president also. So how we are going to plan for this, how we are going to organize your career. So career is basically what course of action you are going to take in that particular job or profession in an organization. So career planning involves goals and objectives which an individual has to identify so that he can achieve his desired goal. Say for example he wants to be in the top layer of management, he wants to be the VP. So what are the things ideally he has to do? So right from freshers, say 5 years from now you're aiming to become the VP of that company. So you have to set your task according to it. Furnish the projects, take part in decision making, give new ideas and so on. Then organizational career planning. These are some of the terminologies which we have to know when you are talking about career management. So organizational career planning is where organization or the management of the organization interviews in your planning. So if they see that there is a bright employee who is doing good business, so they may think of how you can use this person so that the company profits. So what are the extra skills they'll need to teach you, what exposure they are giving you for say different projects and assignments. So when an organization is intervening in the planning process of an individual, that is called as organizational career planning. Then career management. So what is management? Management is trying to assemble the things rightly to better understand how to develop the skills and interest so that in the long run the organization will be benefited and also that person in individual will be benefited. Then what are the stages of career progress? So once you have applied for a job, you get selected, you enter the organization. So this is the starting point when it triggers, when you think about doing something. Okay, so the entry of the organization when the employee starts career planning. Okay, right from the onset, if you are thinking about okay, what I do want to do in the next few months, years to come. So that is the very stage where career planning starts. Then there is progress within a particular area of work. Say for the first couple of months he's like a trainee, being trained about the basic things, how to work, what are the work ethics. Then maybe in a year or so there is a progress in a one particular area of job. He's trying to have that experience and he's giving new assignments and becomes you cannot say expert, but at least a very good worker in that particular area. Say maybe in a couple of years you have become an expert of it. Then there is a mid-career when he or she hopes of okay, say I have done here the job for a couple of years, now I want to go in the say team leader or a manager. So you think about say I'm working so hard, I have done so many projects, given good efficiency. So that is the stage when that person thinks of okay, I have done a lot, I want to get up the ladder. Then the later career when he's been given that opportunity of say supervising or managing, and he's been settled about doing the job, being the higher grader, and he is settled in his respective area. Then end of career is when he's rehired in fit, or he retires. Say end of the career means when you have a lot of experience, you have that age when you are retiring. You say maybe you get retired when maybe you are thinking it's enough, or even after retirement some people get rehired because they are known for their work. So that is the different stages of career management, career planning. Then we'll talk about what is the difference between old careers and new careers. When I say old careers, say maybe 20 years ago how they were, and in this modern 21st century how careers are. So old careers are very much structured, there was a definite hierarchy, who reporting to who, there was no shortcut as such. It was well planned that I am going to do this, after this I am going to be the manager, and so on and so forth. Okay, so there was a streamline of events where a fresher joins in, has a couple of experience, then becomes maybe the supervisor, manager, and so on. So it was very much structured. But new careers are not like that. It is all about skill, it's about shortcut. So anybody can move in within a span of say couple of years. A person may move into a vice president level also. So new careers are more so unstructured. Old careers were objective. Objective means they had a definite plan that say I want to achieve something. In the long run I want to achieve something. So the objective was very clear, it was very much focused, long term objective was there. But new careers are subjective. Subjective in the sense as the need of the hour, the objective changes. Say today my aim is okay, I must get a job. So you get a job. After that you may think, okay, I'm bored with this job, or I have to get increment fast. Okay, I want to go to the other department, I want to learn many things, I want higher salary, I want position. So the things keep on changing, and even if you try for it you can go for it also. And old careers are continuous. Okay, say 30-40 years ago, say 20-30 years ago, one person joins a job, he would just leave that job only at the end of the retirement. But now careers are discontinuous. You may hop in every couple of years because you have that much plenty of opportunity in the market. So you start in one company, as you gain experience you may join with your experience and efficiency you may hop into other things also. So it is continued, there is discontinuity. You may be shifted to different departments also. So you become a multitasker, you become a smart person who is doing many things together. Then there is coherence. And old careers are coherent, new careers are irregular. Irregular in the sense, and the modern day of doing business, the organization is like based on team structure, where with your efficiency, with your work, even you may be promoted to other departments and you may go and join there and do. So it's not like you are staying in one department for all. So you may jump into other departments and do different types of task. But old careers, we say they are coherent, means they were easy and clear. They were not, there was not a concept called as multitasking or you should have an extra skill set. Okay, so here in old careers everything was clear, expressed very specifically. But here in today's career there are many irregularities, many new things crop up, you have to adapt to the changing technology and so on. Next difference is Old careers were mostly of status, power, and authority. Say you become the manager or the CEO, you want money, you want a big bungalow, and so on. So it's all about show off, it's all about status and power. But today's career are more of a psychological success. Okay, I am unique, I have a particular skill, so I want psychological satisfaction. Okay, so today's 21st century employees or say people are not about only status and power. They also want that I have achieved. That achievement factor, self gratification factor is very much important. Then old careers were linear in the sense you are going to stretch on, going on doing something, and it is not repeated. Same thing is not repeated, it just moves on and it goes in a straight line. Whereas new careers are cyclical, means there is constant cycle or there is constant repetition of work. Why? Because there is lot of specialization, each person may be doing the same thing again and again. Then new careers are network organization where distantly people are sitting and sharing work, doing it. There is no hard and core rule, like there is no hierarchy, so much defined hierarchy which may create problems. Say in the simple sense, old careers were bureaucratic in the sense every file has to be from the superior to, and it is to be very strict to rules. They may take time. It is slow. Whereas new careers, it's a network organization. They maybe outsource it. There is no, it's speedy. The work is speedy and so on. Then old careers were organizational bound, means whatever has to be done within the boundaries of the organization. You can't outsource it or such. But nowadays, or you can say they have to be in a virtual in a place where everybody is working. Now we have virtual organizations, they are boundaryless, and the focus is on the company as a whole. So there is a holistic approach, and it is not only work focused, whereas old careers were work focused. New careers all are about projects, assignments, skills, and task completion. It is not like you have been assigned in a department and you are just scribbling with the files over and again. So it is all about what you are, how can you use it. So there are short projects every now and then. After the completion of one project or assignment, there is another one. So there is variety of work. You mingle with new people, so team may be dismantled for every new project also. But old careers were about jobs. It was a continuous job going on and on. Old careers were predictable, means they had a 9 to 5 job. They knew what they wanted to do. There was nothing extra they were asked for. But new careers are all about unpredictability. It is not a 9 to 5 job. They have to give more than what is stipulated. Working times are expanded. Old careers are long term in perspective. I have said before, once you get into that company, you are going on working there up to your department. There is no concept that you may be fired so very easily. But here they are short term. Neither the company is rather than company firing out, the people are not yet concerned about staying there forever. In a couple of years they move on to other jobs or careers which are fetching them maybe better opportunity intellectually or economically. New careers are present oriented. They are not talking about future planning, staying there forever. While as old careers are for future oriented, as they have a long term perspective. So these are the basic career differences between old and new careers. So if you talk about anybody wants to do a government job, it is like the old fashioned job where everything is safe and secured. You don't have to show your extra skills and so on. So new careers, you can say the MNC kind of an organization, private sector. Then now we'll discuss about what are the career development initiatives. So how can you plan your career? Okay, so you have to plan your workshop. Means the workplace is a place where you are spending maybe 8 to 10 hours of your day, and it should be that very interesting and motivating, so that you can feel like doing the job, you can enjoy that job. And constantly there should be career counseling. Means there should be some person to whom you can talk to and talk about what are the future plans, how can I grow up in this particular profession or career. So there should be constant mentoring and counseling. So that you should have a mentor. A mentor is like a guide or a trainer or a you can say a teacher who constantly tells you how to do work, rather than how to do work, how to manage or tackle problems. Maybe a mentor who is maybe in the office, a senior person who has faced such things before. So that counseling and mentoring from such people. Say for example, if you take the if you talk about Indian mythology, Krishna was a mentor to Arjuna. So whenever he faced problems, there was confusion, Krishna never gave him the solution, but he made him think by giving him some examples. So a mentor is a person who is not giving you the solutions, he is making you think to take a decision. So he is just making you understand the scenarios, but the decision will be taken by you. So your best example is your Arjuna and Krishna, where Krishna is a mentor of Arjuna and he helps him to come out of his confusions and take proper decisions. Then there should be a concept called as sabbaticals. What are sabbaticals? These are temporary leaves where you take an off from the job, and you may go and upgrade your skills or go for some coaching or some degree. So this concept should also be there, so that if the job has become monotonous, boring, then they can think of maybe the job requires something extra. So you can take a temporary leave, get off, get relaxed, and get updated. So those are sabbaticals, which we call them as temporary leaves. Then one more concept is there, that is secondment. Secondment means where you are sending your employee to your different organization, so that organization is not your competitor. Okay, so you're not sending your employee off forever. You're sending them to get trained, to know what is the pulse of the market. So especially you're sending him to those organizations who are your suppliers, maybe the supplier of raw materials or something else, or to the customer who is buying your product. So once you go and work there, the employees will feel, okay, that I am really important. I am here to know about the suppliers, the needs, any new ideas for products, even with the customers, what is their need, or what upgradation they need. So if in such a assignment the employees are sent, they will feel it more interesting, because they are doing on time real jobs, maybe real product development. So this makes the job interesting, and even their skills will be upheld or upgraded by doing so. So we can go for secondments also, where good employees, or say smart employees, are sent to different organizations, specifically to the suppliers or customers. Then there is one more concept called as PDP. This is personal development plan. So here you are making that person who is interested, say every person, to make a plan about what they want to do. Okay, so what they are good at, what they are not. So you are giving them training sessions, or they themselves can upgrade them. Maybe somebody wants communication, somebody wants something else. Okay, so it is all about your personal development plans, where you are trying to be upgraded and on the toes, so that you go up the ladder in your career. Then there is also one more concept called as career workbooks. So career workbooks are like, where daily you are jotting down what you have done, and you have also written down what are the objectives in the long run. So what are what do you need to do so that you reach your goal. So maybe it may be upgradation with regard to some specific skill, or maybe work experience or something else. So in detail you're writing about it, reading about it, and making a list of what to do, what not to do. The next point in career development activities is about uh, job rotations, performance appraisal. So performance appraisal is like, a report card about what you have done, what you have succeeded in doing, what were the key tasks completed in that area. So on those things, how you will be promoted, how much hike will be given. So based on your performance appraisal, they can think about where you will be promoted, or you will be demoted, or maybe you're keeping on the same thing. Then job rotation. So to enhance the skills and experience and talent of a person, job rotation is one of an important tool, wherein a person is given different jobs for, say, short period of time. So continuously you are not kept in one place, in one portfolio or one task, but you have been shifted to different things so that you get the exposure of different activities in that business. Then we have a concept called as pre-retirement programs. So pre-retirement programs means, so if you're these are those benefits or programs wherein they can feel safe that even after my retirement, their company is going to take care of certain things. They have been giving some bonus or something like that. So this is like, a motivation for them to work better even in the later stage of their career. Next is succession planning. Succession planning means you're planning about who will be carrying out the business in future when this existing senior staff is going on. So if you feel like one particular employee is really very good, you can spend a lot of time and energy on the management. You can spend a lot of time and energy about that person, so that in future he becomes a senior person, or you can say the important person who takes care of the overall management of the company. Then you have certain clear career paths. Dual ladder career paths means one person with his intellectual and skills capacity, he can think of two say careers in the same organization, say maybe A or B. He's good at both, so he can have a choice of which way he has to go. So he should have, say, some people are very much they are confused about what to do, or maybe some people are very much clear about what they do. So if you are having very much clear cut about what you want to do in future, so you can only focus on that particular path or activity. Some people are good at both, or maybe a couple of things, so they can decide about parallelly sticking to both the things. Then we have career assessment centers, career booklets, management development programs, orientation programs, so diversity management. So all these things help them to upgrade their skills, upgrade their management techniques, so that they can feel safe that I have a long career in that organization. Now, why diversity management? In the sense, you have to make them feel comfortable with different types of people. The different kinds of people, the way of work, feel comfortable, give them enhancement skill development programs, and so on. So there are even assessment centers where there is constantly there is a team of people who are assessing the performance of the employees, and so that they can judge upon how good or bad they are performing. The next thing is retirement preparation programs and upward appraisal. So upward appraisal means you are being promoted to up ladder, that is a higher level hierarchy from say supervisor, manager, team leader, or say assistant manager, whatever it is. So you're going up and up, so that is upward proposal. Also making them prepare for retirement programs, what are the benefits involved, and other things. Then we have a concept of expatriation, impatriation. So expatriation means you are sending the employees to another country, what we call it as on-site job, on-site clients, or maybe say when some people are very much excited going abroad doing the work, but after some time some people may be feeling homesick, they want to come back, so you may bring back some employees who are working outside, that is impatriation. So constant shifting of people from one place to another, so sending them on site, bringing them back, repatriation. So all these things will help them to get exposure to different experiences and thereby upgrade themselves. So to end with, there are certain challenges of career management. So some people are too ambitious, they are impatient and greedy, so handling such people may be a problem. So sometimes what happens, there is a bias, while or say there is partiality in promoting certain people without say for example they are biased, then maybe they favor them for some purpose, or there is not a right thing always. Then sometimes the attitude of the management is laissez-faire. Laissez-faire means they don't bother much, they don't think much, and in the end they may suffer because of it. So this carefree attitude of management also may kill the employee's morale, and he may think of shifting to another organization. Then every time job rotation or overseas assignment is not the answer for self-development. Sometimes the need of the hour may be something different. So job rotation or overseas assignment is itself is not always a development. It may be just you are just stretching out the experience. So it doesn't mean that they are going to develop by moving out or job rotation. Some people are not fit for doing different types of jobs. So job rotations is not cup of the tea. So you can't do it always. Okay, so this is all about career management and its challenges. I hope you have understood it. So do comment for any queries or questions. Like, subscribe, comment to my channel so that you get further notifications. So that's all for today. Have a good day. Bye. Thank you.